Nothing gets the blood boiling of a precious metal stacker like the idea of a government agent knocking on the door or a presidential decree stating that we have to turn in our gold and silver. I made a video about it earlier in the day, and it has created a huge, diverse level of feedback. I'll leave it at that. People get very upset when talking about gold confiscation, gold seizure. Everybody goes back to 1933 when President Roosevelt, by presidential executive order, made all of Americans turn in their gold. But can it happen again? Guys, there's a huge difference between then and now. And we're going to talk about that in this video. The other big subject, the hot subject right now, is the debt ceiling. Supposedly it's been resolved. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. What it will do, what I think it could do for the gold price and the silver price and the economy for that matter. Very interesting. It will affect the silver price. It will affect the gold price. We got some news from a friend in Europe, one of our viewers, who sent me a very insightful article I want to share with you about more central bank gold purchasing from the most unlikely of places. You'll find that very interesting, but let's dive right in, okay? Look, we all are afraid that the government could possibly confiscate our gold, confiscate our silver, right? That the government agents could knock on the door and say, hand it over. We want your gold. We want your silver. It happened in 1933. Big difference you need to realize. And when you realize this, you won't be initially as concerned about the prospect of gold and silver confiscation. Back then, the United States was on the gold standard, okay? If they wanted to make more dollars, they had to have more gold. That's not the case now. We aren't on the gold standard. So when Roosevelt needed to print more dollars and he didn't have more gold, he had no choice but to seize it, take it from the American citizens. Coincidentally, shortly thereafter, once he got all the gold that would allow him to print more dollars, he actually then repriced it, I think almost 70% higher overnight, which allowed him to print even more dollars with the amount of gold that he brought in. We're in a different situation now. The governments, the central banks, we aren't on the gold standard. Now, the gold standard will play into this, and it could result in a situation where the government comes and takes our gold back. Think about it. Back then, the only reason they took everybody's gold is because we were on the gold standard. They need it now. If they want gold, if they want to make more money, they don't need gold, right? They can make money out of thin air. Jerome Powell does not need gold. But interestingly enough, some people will argue that the world central banks have been seizing our gold because the world central banks have bought a record amount of gold in the last year, for instance. And what are they using to buy that gold? They're using printed, made-up money, right? They can print money and buy gold. So the argument can be made that they are, through a backdoor method, seizing our gold and have been for the last year, right? Does that make sense? Now, I would say that if we look at it straight only in that manner, we don't have to worry. Then we don't have to worry because they're already taking the gold they want. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could print money yourself, print currency, and then go to the coin shop and trade it in for some silver coins? I bet Neil Hahn would like that. He'd print some up and go buy a bunch of platinum, right? I'd buy some platinum too. Or convert, that's the proper word that we need to use, right? So the argument can be made that they've been doing this all along. They don't need to take our gold directly. Now, where it gets interesting is this. If, like the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, as their move toward a more gold-backed currency, we could find ourselves potentially in a situation in the world where the U.S. government does need more gold, right? Now, I'm not saying that I foresee that happening anytime real soon, but we know that if the government gets desperate and if the world is forcing the United States to go onto the gold standard, if the world goes on, if 75% of the world goes on to the gold standard, forcing the United States, hey, if you want to buy our oil, if China says, if you want to buy our widgets for Walmart, you need to do it with a gold-backed currency or with gold, then we might find ourselves in a situation where we may need to reconsider the prospects of gold and or silver and, God forbid, Neil, platinum being seized from us, being taken back, okay? Another interesting thing to remember, in the 30s, people were much more subservient than they are now, and more people owned gold. Now, very few of us own gold and silver. We know that, right? We know we are a sliver of the population. And I would say, generally speaking, people aren't as, I don't want to use the word patriotic, but subservient. And back then, people just believed and trusted the government much more and would do things because they thought the government had the people's best interest at heart. And generally speaking, sad to say, I don't think that's the case today. Most people who stack gold and silver, I would think if you could do a personality analysis of your average gold or silver stacker, they're probably more of a independently minded, if that's a proper way to say it. I don't know. I want to ask you that question. Tell me in the comments, do you think that today's gold and silver stacker, are you more of an independent, are you more of a person who thinks for yourself or lets the government think for you? If you think for yourself, say think for self. If you just like to listen and believe whatever the government says, whatever the TV tells you, say believe in government. Do you think for self or believe in government? Not that we don't believe in our government, sad to say, but we're a little skeptical of it. Think for self. I see a think for self. Let's see what you guys think. Daniel Cassie thinks for himself. Hello, T-Fetch. Hello, Coin Shop Chris thinks for himself. Blaine, all rounds followers, heed the law and turn over their medals. They are a patriotic lot. Yes, we are but no propaganda. Alan thinks for himself. Sassy Silver thinks for self. I think we generally are people who think for ourselves. I mean, I've often said the people that are here, you right now, 200 of you joining me on a Sunday night, okay? You guys are smarter than the average bear, smarter than the average person. I'm not saying that in an egotistical thing, but the fact that you're here right now says that about you, okay? You aren't sitting around watching some BS Netflix show, nothing wrong with that, but you want to learn. You want to push the limits, right? You aren't just part of the herd who's going to say, okay, if that's what they tell me, that must be the truth. No. You're going to analyze things. You're going to look at the big picture. You're going to see the forest through the trees. You know what else I know about you? You're willing to take some risk, and I don't know, isn't it so important that we're willing to admit we're wrong? I do it all the time. Apologize to my 11-year-old daughters. I'm not perfect. I get crabby, believe it or not. And, I find myself, I had to do it last night. Apologize to my daughter, Lily. Say, hey, I made a mistake. My behavior wasn't right. I'm going to do my best not to do it again in the future, but I want you to know I recognize that I was wrong. We can be wrong. It's okay. It's so powerful. This is not a self-help channel. This is a gold and silver channel. But I'm going to tell you, one of the most powerful things I've learned in the last few years is the power of admitting when I'm wrong and admitting that I don't know everything. Okay, so when it comes to this gold and silver confiscation, yeah, I got some heat right? And I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong. And one guy said, you're stirring up fervor that people. I said, no, I didn't say that. I said I thought the government's not going to come. I don't think the government doesn't need right now the way things are. Jerome Powell, this guy, let me show you him. Let me tell you. Let me show you something. Here, he's going to tell you himself. I don't need your gold. I don't need your gold. He does not need your gold. And you know why? If he wants gold, all he's got to do is print up some money. He can do that whenever he wants. And he could go buy pretty much all the gold he needs. He doesn't need to go through the trouble of trying to get it out of your sticky little hands or your silver or anything else, okay? They don't need to. They can just print money. Isn't it just wonderful? It's not sustainable, and we're seeing that right now. We're seeing that, right? We're seeing firsthand what happens when we aren't backing our currency with silver and gold. It doesn't work long term. The debt ceiling. Let's touch on that. Supposedly there's a deal, right? They've solved the problem. Remember. If they didn't fix the debt ceiling, there was going to be economic catastrophe. There was going to be blood in the streets. It was going to be turmoil. It was alarm bells going off. I mean, if you listen to the Today Show like I do every morning, because I'm forced to, because my wife watches it, while I'm trying to drink my coffee and dig into the real news, and I have to hear out of the side of me, he listened to the Today Show, and, oh my God, if we don't get the debt ceiling resolved, it's going to be the end of the world. They love it. It was the lead story, but they've got it worked out, apparently. Apparently some people are angry that the Republican side, what's his name, Kevin McCarthy, that he caved, okay? But what I'm reading, I've got an article from Bloomberg. Let me pull that up here. I want to read you, because people are saying that this debt ceiling situation, this supposed resolution, could be very bad for the economy. Here, it's from Bloomberg. The debt deal adds brake on U.S. economy already at risk of a recession. Now, let's talk about the gold and silver price, because if we officially, right? I mean, things are great out there. You know that. You know how awesome President Joe Biden's, the strongest economy ever. He's done a great job. Yeah. But just in case we do go into a recession, just in case, now that everybody's spent all their imaginary unicorn fart dust money they had in savings, and now they're spending triple unicorn fart dust on credit cards because we have record credit card debt. Just in case, I'm just saying, just if the economy goes to poop, right? You know what is going to happen to the gold and silver price? It's going to shoot through the roof because it's called stagflation. Because Jerome, I'm not going to get him out again, but you know what he looks like. He lives in a box here in my basement. Jerome Powell, Jeremy Powell, he's going to have to be fighting a recession while at the same time fighting inflation. You know what that is? That's called stagflation. Guys, look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. In the 70s, gold and silver skyrocketed. I mean, blast off rocket ships. If I was a fancy YouTuber, I'd have rocket ships going up the screen. But you have an active imagination. You can imagine it. Rocket ships for silver and gold. Just if we go into a recession and this debt ceiling thing, they're saying, now everybody's saying, oh, it could be bad for the economy. Could be bad for the economy. Okay? And I'm getting, my blood is boiling. And before I forget that, thank you for being here. You are the best. If you give this a thumbs up, that really helps. It gets the message out to more people, that thumb up thing, right? And don't forget to subscribe. I put out new content every single day. You will laugh at me. I will anger you. You will love me. But you can always come to Ron's basement. Always. always for camaraderie. You're always welcome here, right? We are the sliver of the population. So please subscribe. We're trying to get my numbers are all messed up in my head. I'm so mad about this debt ceiling thing. Anyway, we're trying to get to 22,000 subscribers. And that would be a big accomplishment. You could be a big part helping us get there. So please subscribe. And when we get to 100 thumbs up, which is going to happen any second now, I ring the bell 10 times, one ring for each 10 thumbs up as a special gift to you. And somebody called that ringflation because there's no way I can ring it 100 times. I'm waiting for the 100. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So the debt deal. This is from Bloomberg. You know they're reliable. Bloomberg. Debt deal could put the brakes on the economy. The cap on government spending in Washington. Hold on a second. God, what kind of... Federal spending in recent quarters helped support U.S. growth in face of headwinds, right? So spending, it's going to curtail spending to a certain degree, okay? They're saying it's going to slow down residential construction. Oh, well, have you looked at mortgage rates lately? Huh? 7%? They were like less than 3% 16 months ago. Now they're over 7%. It'll cost you, let's say you got to take out a mortgage for $300,000. It's going to cost you almost twice as much per month now for the same amount of money, your monthly payment, your monthly mortgage payment. It's crazy. But no, the real estate market, it's real healthy. Just talk to any realtor, okay? For Federal Reserve policymakers, the spending cap is a fresh consideration to account for as they update their own projections for growth and the benchmark interest rates that are due for release on June 14th. Guys, I've been telling you, June 14th is D-Day for gold and silver investors. That's when the Federal Reserve, that's when this little cutie pie, Jeremy, he comes out and he's going to talk about the interest rates. June 14th. Remember, that guy. June 14th. I don't think they're going to raise interest rates. Okay? You can bash me all you want. You can hate me. I don't think they're going to confiscate your gold. Well, maybe. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to tell you the circumstance when I think they could confiscate your gold and silver, because there is a risk that it could happen. But I don't think that Jerome Powell is going to raise interest rates. I am sorry, okay? And now they're saying that because of the debt ceiling agreement, spending's being curtailed. Oh my God, they're curtailing spending. I mean, is that the only way they can keep the U.S. economy going? It'd be like this. Let's say you're the head of your household. You're the head of your family, right? This is the way I look at this damn debt ceiling situation. And let's say you got a mortgage, you got a car payment, you got student loan payments, and you're living off credit cards, right? And you've already got a boatload of credit card debt. You're in trouble, but you found some new credit card that you could apply for, and you just sent it off, and you just got it back. And what this debt ceiling is that. It's like you just got approved for another $4,000 on credit. Are you happy about that? Right? It's probably your last bit chunk you're going to get. And that's what that's what people are like, oh, we're so happy that they came to an agreement on the debt ceiling. No, we should be like up in arms that we're even in this situation. It's like I said, it's like you being in total financial ruin and celebrating because some new credit card company decided they'd give you a final $3,000 credit limit bump. Does that make sense, or am I a crazy man? I mean, really? And now, all of a sudden, how did they come to the agreement? Now the mainstream media is saying this could be bad for the markets because they're not getting to spend as much as they got to last. I mean, give me a break. Where does this BS end? The Today Show, it's catastrophe, and now it is a catastrophe. Now it's bad, and, look, You know what? I mean, and I think short term, medium term, long term, the fact that all this is going on, the silver price and gold price are going to do very, very well. There's no other way to talk about it. Quote unquote, this will make fiscal policy slightly more restrictive. At the same time, monetary policy is restrictive and likely to get more so. That's from Diana Swank. How'd you like to have that last name? Swank. She's the chief economist from KPMG, Pete Marwick. That's what it used to be called. I used to work in that Big Four accounting world, believe it or not. I was a fancy, highfalutin Big Four consultant, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, those people aren't any smarter than you or me. As a matter of fact, I bet you're probably a little smarter than the average person. I worked with some wonderful people, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but you're just as smart as it. So what they're saying is the Fed's tightening. And now, oh my God, the government can't just spend any of them as much money as they want. Willy-nilly, okay? Willy-nilly. Let's go back to this gold seizure, all right? I want to tell you a situation, the situation where it could happen, where you could find yourself being required to turn in your silver and go, now I got to walk away for a second, and I want you to do me a favor. I want you to type a message into the bear, the gold bear there. He's getting really depressed because his blindfold, it doesn't come off till gold hits $2,500. Maybe give him a word of encouragement, okay? But if he says anything to you, don't listen. I'll be right back. I got to get my notes over here in the corner. Don't listen to that bear if he has anything to say. Somebody help me, I'm being held hostage in the basement. All right, I'm back. Did the bear say anything? Are you still there? Hello, Bueller? Anyone? Remember that movie? You guys are all about my age. Bueller? Anyone? Has anyone seen Bueller? I remember when I was a kid thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I was rich like that. Did you grow up middle class? I'm curious. You know what? That's good for the chat. I want to hear. I grew up very, very... The bear saying, Susie, my coffee mug's empty. That's a good one. That's hilarious. How much is the big bear's ransom? Yeah, you want to deliver a couple kilos of gold, you can have the big bear, okay? Especially since I paid $3 for him in a garage sale with my 4-year-old daughters at the time, 7 years ago. The bears clean the basement, yeah? Give the bear some honey and you make the price of gold go to the moon. I will. We had some honey on him for a while. It's time for him to add some honey. Average IQ dropped 1 per year for the last 20 years. Thank you. Hey, Bear, will you let go? Will you let go when you give up the real money? He's a righteous dude. I grew up fake middle class. LOL shorts. Yeah, I got shorts. Oh, I forget. You guys see my shorts. I got red shorts on today, too. Here, I know you're dying to see. These are shorts. You'll see these a lot because I'm really weird. I'll share something with you about me. We all have weird things. One weird thing about me is like when I find something I like, I buy a bunch of it. So I got these shorts at JCPenney like 3 years ago, and I just bought them, and I'm like, I really like these shorts. So I bought like 12 pairs of them. I do the same thing with shoes. There's a certain shoe I wear, Mizuno Wave Rider 15. And I buy them used on eBay. I know I'm weird. I could afford to buy new shoes, but I'd rather buy these really good condition used Wave Rider shoes that were $200, and now I can get them for $20, and people have barely worn them. I digress. I had a good question for the chat. I forgot what it was. What was I going to ask? There was something I wanted to ask you. Oh, yeah. Did you grow up middle class? I grew up very middle class. My dad was in the Air Force, full-time in the Missouri Air National Guard. My mom worked as like a nurse. Florissant, Missouri, middle class. I'm curious. Are you my audience? Are you guys? Yeah, Ryan Middle's middle class. You have a J.C. Penney open? Yes, but I bought the big bulk of mine on eBay. I buy stuff, and they were brand new. I don't know how the purple got. I'm very poor. Flash Landing, lower middle class, Ancient Tom, Soul Stealer, Tad Concerned, middle class. Yes, nickel stacking does the same thing. I have like 12 pairs of the same shoe. Very poor. My parents didn't eat, so I could half the time. I'm sorry, SF Stacker. I'm in the middle class. Middle class. Poor, Sassy Silver. Yes, Matt, I did and I prayed. Sharon Johnson says, lower middle class. Poor for the first 10 years, then my mom started working. Yeah, my mom started working when I was 10 years old. I mean, what's up with America? I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't want to get myself in trouble for saying this, but sometimes I feel bad for the fact that a lot of moms have to work and for the kids, but that's like our economy now, right? Think about it. They make everybody work, but then everybody doesn't want to work. I was just today at Six Flags water park. That's where I've been all day. If I look disheveled, I've been at a water park with a bunch of crazy people, almost as crazy as me in St. Louis at Six Flags water park, but half the water park was closed because they're we can't find employees, so we can't open half the water park. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. People don't have any money. They're living on credit cards. They're using their savings, but then people don't have jobs, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because people are well, screw it. I'm not going to go work at Six Flags for $13 an hour, sit around in the sun and, deal with a bunch of crazy people. I can, do something else or get aid or I don't know. Lower class. I like silver. Hey, this is awesome. Over 250 of you with us right now. Okay? Your comments are important. Your questions are important. It's a requirement that you're subscribed to the channel if you're going to leave a comment. So please subscribe. It's free to subscribe. There's no cost, no hidden cost, no nothing cost. And I give you a new video every day about gold and silver. And more important, I hope you feel this because I feel this. Right? Think about that, guys. We are all over the world right now, but we're together. We give ourselves some community and some camaraderie. You guys help each other all the time, right? I met who is now what I consider to be a great friend, right? I mean, who doesn't love friends? Do you love friends? I like friends. Coin Shop Chris, I met him through this. I mean, what else can a guy ask for, right? I mean, there's nothing more valuable in life than relationships and friendships. Anyway, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, I was very middle class, and I'm happy about that. Let me read you something I got from my friend Luke in Europe. I'll leave it at that. Luke, spelled L-U-C. He may be on the live stream, and he sends me some very insightful articles from these European analysts. This is about gold and central bank buying of gold. The Central Bank of Iraq strikes gold. Iraq Central Bank expanded its gold reserves by 2% last week. Director General Mazim Sabah reported Iraq bought 2.5 tons of gold last Thursday to bring its reserves to 132.73, not 73 tons. The central bank will stock up on even more gold in the coming months. The plan is to buy small amounts of gold over time, said Sabah. Isn't that what we do? Now, I'm a silver guy, but we buy small amounts of precious metals over time, and then it adds up, from what I'm told. Iraq is by no means the only country where the central bank is expanding its gold reserves. I got a joke for you in a second that a 12-year-old told me. Pretty funny. Due to the escalating geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China, the war in Ukraine. What? Oh, yeah, we forgot about that. There's a war going on. Central banks are looking to gold as a safe haven. In April, Poland's central bank stockpiled an additional 15 tons of gold. Yeah, did you know what the Polish central banker? I could dig out my notes and read it verbatim. Word by word. I could tell you what the Polish central banker, I can give you my short version of it. He said, we're buying gold because we want to be prepared when the SHTF, when the poop hits the fan. Is that right? SHTF. Yeah, anyway, that's why they're buying gold, and they're adding precipitously to their gold holdings. So that goes back to what we talked about earlier about gold confiscation. Yeah, for now, Jerome and a lot of the central bankers of the world, they can print up as much paper money, right? Electronic money. They can issue all the debt, all this magical make-believe, as Vladimir Putin calls it, money that the Eastern countries, the BRICS countries, are a little fed up with. Like, we're getting tired of sending you all of our goods and services and getting back make-believe paper unicorn fart dust from you, right? Okay? So, for now, they can do that. And it's not just Poland, right? It's not just Poland. It's central banks around the world buying a record amount of gold. And if it gets to a point, this is where you have to be afraid. Like I said in the video earlier, right? Like, you don't have to worry about a government agent knocking on your door saying they want your precious metals. I'd be more concerned about a knock on the door from that cute kid that lives up the street from you, who's a Cub Scout. He knocks on your door and he's trying to sell you, but he's got that sheet with all those boxes on it, names, right? The other people he's conned of buying a $25 tin of popcorn. That's what you need to be more afraid of for now. But if the world changes like we think it could change, okay? Excuse me, I had to belch. If the world changes like we think it could change, and gold does I don't want to use the word I'm going to use the word reclaims gold and silver, precious metals, reclaim, right? Which they always have been. They haven't died, right? You know what I mean? Like when you have a bonfire and then you leave for a little bit and you come back and there's just a pile of like smoldering ash, and then you can even come back like 6 hours later, or you wake up the next morning if you're camping and you still got a little. That's what gold and silver have been. They're those hot embers, and you just fan it and throw a pile of twigs on there, and it go. That's what's right. Gold and silver, when they're reclaimed, revitalized, re-recognized. I don't know the right word, but whatever. I don't know the right word. Sorry about that. My volume came on. That at that point, right, when the U.S. government, if the other countries in the world say, we don't want your dollars anymore, sorry guys, Jerome, you can print as many of those suckers as you want. We don't want 100 of them, and we don't want 100 trillion of them. We don't want them anymore. We want something backed by real assets. Then, it could get interesting. It could get interesting. I'm not saying I think that's gonna happen, but it could happen. It could happen, okay? It definitely could happen. World geopolitical, that none of that's changed. I just saw, though, the Turkey, Vladimir Putin congratulated his dear friend Erdogan as NATO's Turkey challenge looks set to stay. I guess the Turkish president is friends with Putin. I don't know. Interesting. Daniel Christie Easley, people are so uneducated in America, especially when it comes to economics. They think inflation is prices going up at the store. But inflation is the expansion of the currency and debt. Yes, Christie. Yes, right now you are in the front running for the best comment of the day because that's it. The 1849 gold rush was stopped by the government because there was so much gold and not enough cash. The government now owns that land. Wow, Neil, I had no clue that was the case. That's another great comment. John Baxter does not like Obama. Garden telepathy, one for Ron's 3 red shirts. Yeah, see, I know I have 2 more of the same exact shirt, but I still am wearing this one that is 36 years old at this point. McCarthy did that more than Cave. Maine, we ought to check wire transfers to his family, too. Interesting, Patrick. Yeah, people are not happy with McCarthy. Are there many dedicated silver mines? No. Most silver mining, a big chunk of it goes on in Mexico, and Mexico is becoming very difficult for mining companies. Very, very difficult. 25% of the world's silver comes from Mexico, and of all the silver that's supplied every year, there's like an additional 300 million or so ounces that are being demanded that the miners cannot put up, cannot create, cannot mine, cannot supply. It is absolutely crazy. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Talk to the bear. Talk to the bear. Hey guys, this is the Gold Bear. Do you think Ron should take my blindfold off early or wait until $2,500 gold? I'm coming back. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. I hope that bear didn't say anything when I was gone. He's been instructed to keep his mouth shut. 2,500? What's that all about? Did that bear say something when I was gone? Huh? Oh, I told you I had a joke for you. This is from my good friend Clayton, cutest kid in the world. And he says to me today, he says, Ron, what starts with a P and ends with an E and has 1 million letters in it? Who can answer that first? You will win the joke answer of the day. Who can answer that? What starts with a P and ends with an E and has 1 million letters inside of it? How come you guys aren't answering this? Yes, I have plenty of charcoal. I've been using gas Weber grill since my daughters were born. Silver! Nope. Slap that huge ass. Confiscate. I gave all my silver and gold away. Yeah, I did too, by the way. Gosh, see how similar we are, slap at? Huge ass? I did that. Yes! Somebody got it. Douglas Lynch. The post office. Yes. Yeah, that's a great little joke, guys. What starts with a P and ends with an E and has 1 million letters inside of it? The post office. And then you know what my daughter said to me? We're driving to Six Flags. Post office. They said, what starts with F and ends with uck? And I'm like, wait a minute. Where's this one going, girls? What starts with the letter F and ends with the letter UCK? And I had a little bit of steam. I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, what is this all about? Fire truck. See, you might have a dirty mind like me. Fire truck. All right. Yes, that's right, Andrew. Because you guys know all the jokes. What the heck? All right, let's do some questions, answers. Let's go right now. I am all yours. We can figure this out. Now, I predict that by Friday's close, we're going to have gold above $2,000. That's what I think. My gut is telling me that. I don't have any fancy chart to show you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are we? Is it going to happen by Friday? Are we going to get to $2,000 gold. I think we are. I even said that I would, if anybody wants to call me on it, I'm not going to do it if you don't want me to do it, but if we don't get the $2,000 gold spot price, look at this. I've red spray paint. I will paint my hair red to match my face and shirt, okay? That's how strongly I believe that we're going to get to $2,000 gold. Are we going to get to 200 thumbs up? We got 170 thumbs up. You know what happens at 200? I said I'd never do it again, but I will ring the bell if we get to 200. And you guys, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. It really helps the channel. And CoinShop Chris and I, we are trying to get to 22,000 subscribers. Thank you for being here. You're the best. All right, now, come on. Hope your gut is right. Yeah, my gut is usually right, but often wrong. Don't make any big bets, but my gut tells me, and look, my gut was telling me lately that gold and silver were going to go down like 3 weeks ago. You know, I'm not saying I'm some all-knowing soothsayer. I do not have a crystal ball. You know, there's only one guy I know who has a crystal ball, and he's on my show every couple of weeks. I think we're going to talk this week, and that's Buddy Rumble. Yes, Buddy Rumble, the Louisiana gold guru, and he's going to be back with me this week. So we'll see what his crystal ball, actually he said he has two, he has crystal balls, what his crystal balls say regarding gold. I got a magic 8 ball. You want me to see the magic 8 ball right there? Right there, where my thumb is? 8 ball. Julie Alexander, you're always welcome in Ron's basement. You guys are the best. Set the bear free. 2,500, 2,500. Hello, nickel stacking. Hello, Matt Rick. Hello, Sir Stacks a Lot. Take the shackles off. Oh, yeah. Those are Halloween decoration. Man, if we don't get there by Halloween, the shackles will come off. They will come off. I'm coming down. I'm getting here. Yes, hope my gut's right as well. All right. Ancient Tom, I think that price will continue rallying from here for a while. What did the envelope say? What did the envelope say to the stamp, Carl? Now you got to tell us. What did the envelope say to the stamp? I'm looking at silver from like 2000. All right, Matt Rick says, I'm just looking at silver from like 2004 to now, and it looks like a good idea, but I'd have to compare with the inflation. Did Ron say he's all-knowing and owns crystal balls? What did the envelope? Just got it. When they confiscated gold in 33. Okay, yeah, Beth. When they confiscated gold in 33, we were backed by gold. What justification could they use now to confiscate gold when we're backed by the full? Yes, exactly. They don't need the gold. They had to take the gold back then. They had. If they wanted to print more money, the only option they had was to get more gold. So they took it from the U.S. citizens, right? They got the more gold so they could have more money, print more. But what they did was, as soon as they got the gold price was fixed back then. They increased it by like 70%. So they took everybody's gold, said, turn it in. It's your patriotic obligation. We need it. We're in big trouble. And they got everybody's gold. And then like a week later, they said, oh, now gold is worth, it went from like 20 to 34, if I remember correctly. Instead of $20 an ounce, now it's worth $34 an ounce. Oh, that was nice. Boy, yeah. Okay, now they don't have to do that. If they want to make more money, all they had to do is have electricity in their computer, and they can do it. Grab the 8 ball. I'll grab the 8 ball. Don't you worry. Okay. Platinum is going up. Nickel stacking. Help me, I'm stuck in Ron's basement. Yeah, I am too. You know, I'm surviving. All right, let's see what the magic 8 ball has to say. I'm going to ask it a serious question. 8 ball. 8 ball. 8 ball. 8 ball. Okay, magic 8 ball. Is the gold price going to be above $2,000 by Friday? It says, signs point to yes. See if I can get this up there, but you guys won't be able to see it because it'll go away. It probably went away already. All you're seeing is a reflection. It said signs point to yes. Okay, and I'm not joking, because now after I moved, now it says outlook not so good, but that doesn't apply to the question I already asked it. I'll give you the honest juice, what comes out of this baby. So important for us to remember one key point. Number one, you guys are the best. The community of people that join us on these live streams, right? You guys are awesome. Very supportive of me, supportive of all other. Somebody just asked what, I played soccer in college. I was a sweeper back. I played for DePaul University, and one year I was a athletic academic All-American. I have an undergrad degree in accounting. Anyway, it's so important that you guys understand that we're here for each other, right? I mean, you know, that's what it's all about. And we can learn from each other, and we can share with each other, we can answer each other's questions. You know, that's how we do it, right? It's very hard for us just in our own brains to, you know, we get different ideas, new concepts from each other. So it's super important that you know you are important, you are unique, and your thoughts and your insights and your questions matter. And don't ever think anything's not too dumb to ask, okay? Nothing. You can always ask anything. Hey, all right, T-Roy got his dad and father-in-law to start buying medals. Good job. Hello, Mary Metcalf. Yeah, happy Memorial Day to all of our veterans out there. Like I said, my dad was in the Missouri Air National Guard, full-time ammo man for, his whole career. I was out there a lot. Nothing like being around F-4s and F-15s when you're a 10, 11-year-old boy. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to see you next time. Have a good rest of your weekend and take care.